Alright, guys. So this is week 12, and we have gone through Azure Active Directory, which and its new name is Identity in Azure, Microsoft 365 Admin Center. And now we're on to Exchange, and we have actually talked about Exchange features. So before we were going to Admin Center here, and Monday or Sunday it will open. So here, um, security, compliance, admin, endpoint manager, identity. So yeah, we're talking about Azure Active Directory, which is now called Identity here, and then we're going down to Exchange. Yeah, one second. So before we were talking about identity, now we're talking about Exchange. Then we go to SharePoint, Teams, Endpoint Manager. Uh, Okay, so I'm just gonna click that exchange, and that is what we were talking about, or we were going through that. So then we talked about mailboxes and the features of a mailbox. We went for groups and what type of all those groups are: Microsoft 365 distribution list, dynamic distribution list, and mail-enabled security group. Then contacts. Uh, so for resources, and we created a resource group, and resource group is just the use of it's created for calendar, for the use of calendar to schedule the use of resource. And we've talked about that. We did the lab. You can refer to the last video there. So there is the add an equipment resource. So there was a room resource, add a room resource. We created that. There is other type, and that is a equipment resource. Pretty much both the same thing. Uh, the main purpose was to purpose was main purpose was that if there is a meeting room, so just like there is a meeting room, starting with my mouse. So you can schedule that with calendar, right? Schedule, and last time we did that, right? Schedule with calendar with the Outlook
Your sound is echoing.
calendar, right? So we only create a meeting box, a room resource, which is just a mailbox, just to use its calendar to schedule that meeting room. And so pretty much the same thing, a meeting room or meeting hall is add a room resource. What about equipment resource? So obviously the logic is still the same. The equipment equipment. So the equipment, that's what it's written here, equipment resource. And resource. So that is also obviously I'll just grab theory, a picture of this, and so suppose you have a projector in room, and you want to schedule that, or sometimes it happens that there are projectors, projector, and which company is very famous for projectors? Canon. Okay, Canon projectors. There are many other projectors. So this is the picture of a projector. So now there may be many projectors there, and those projectors are somebody need in some meeting room. There are some smaller meeting rooms where they did not install the projector, so they say that go to the desktop support and just schedule first in the calendar that you will be needing the projector from suppose 10 a.m. Till 12 p.m. Right? So just go to the calendar first, or go to the person who is responsible to put schedules in the calendar and book the 10 to 12 time and then the projector. So this is pretty much the same thing. We just simply go to the calendar and simply book it. So last time we were doing that, and if we go open the Outlook here and go to the calendar here, so we were seeing so there's a meeting hall, the resource calendar, and split view. We go split view here, and this is a meeting room calendar, and you can just book that from this time to this time. Meeting room was again meeting hall book. The same thing is with the resource. I'm gonna quickly create that because it's a separately available option there. I'm gonna go to exchange, and then we have already created the mailbox. It's just pretty much the same idea there, but it's called just add an equipment resource. If I click the creation of a mailbox, we're gonna ultimately only use calendar of this equipment box. The rest of the wizard is exactly the same. So provide name and address for the scheduled resource. Uh, Suppose it's a Canon projector 1312. I'm just coming up with that. I don't know if there's model like that. And resource email address. So that with the same thing. Canon projector, maybe you can just put it and dash here and select the domain, and that's it. So you create a mailbox with the equipment name and use its calendar. So capacity, it's not a meeting hall. You can even see that uh, last time we created a room mailbox. So capacity is for the room, right? So here, maybe one person at one time can take it, the projector. It doesn't fit here. They put the same form of the room mailbox, room resource mailbox in the projector as well. Location, Toronto, and phone number this, department IT, company this. So this is a pretty simple form. You can fill out anything. And address book policy, well, that's upcoming. This is a different thing. Next, so this is the main thing that you need to booking delegate settings. We did it last time for room mailbox. We're doing it for now. Equipment resource or equipment mailbox as well. That allow repeating meetings. They didn't even bother to change that. It's not meeting. It's just whoever wants to book it. So nobody else can overbook it, or nobody else is also booking at the same time when you have booked. It's just oh no, this is repeating meeting. So how many times you need it? So every week, 10 to 12, you need that. So do you want to allow that? Yes, okay. It's there. Scheduling only during work hours, 9 to 5, or more than 5 o'clock. That somebody can use it and automatically decline meetings outside of booking time. If you have put a booking time, maximum duration, or booking window, then outside of that, it won't be allowed. It is 6 months here and 24 hours. You can just say that um, you can book it for maximum 3 hours, and you can just put that it is your responsibility to keep the item no, without any damage, undamaged, and return on time, and return on time. So you can put some kind of this, and then automatically accept decline meeting requests. Yeah, if somebody got it booked for Monday 10 to 12, then anyone else trying to book it at 11 to 12, obviously it will be declined. Specify users whom you want. So yes, it could be the meeting. Somebody really is booking or accepting bookings for this, or IT department, some guy, desktop support guys could do that, or automatically you can let it. But whoever assigns first, gets it first. So next, and that's it. Nothing rocket science here. So create this and then add its calendar to your mailbox and start booking it. That's pretty much straightforward idea about this. Um, so this is resource mailbox. We have done exactly the same thing for room mailbox as well. The whole wizard is exactly like the room mailbox, and nothing else is there now. It's in shock that why am I creating that? So it's taking time to create a resource mailbox, but this is like not no big deal. So okay, so one day, it's done now. I'm gonna click done, and this is the same thing, Canon projector, and then you go to that Outlook, and then you add that calendar as well. Well, last time also it didn't come right away, so always give after you create some resource, always give 15-20 minutes before you try to add it. Otherwise, you keep trying. Background synchronization does happen. Let's go ahead. It's we've already gone through that. I'm gonna put that in center. Okay. So there's context here, and this is contacts are people outside your organization that you'd like everyone to be able to find. Anyone listed here can be found in Outlook. Other people in Microsoft 365. So what does that mean? This means that so what are contexts? The contexts are that some outsider, so vendors, anyone whose mailbox is not created in our exchange. So I'll just put that here. So contexts. Contexts are, we can add uh, an outsider user's email in the contact list for the permanent employees of the company to be able to find it. We do not create uh, a, an, a mailbox in our exchange online, our exchange application for this contact. And is that so it could be a vendor or a contractor temporarily working with the company, and we use this person's personal email, personal or outside uh, our organization or email, which means their own company domain. Suppose they are from another company and you made a contract with them. So we just add their information with their email. We don't create their mailbox here. Okay. So Rafael has a question here in the chat. Please, how can we link our team with meeting room? I repeated the lab but could not succeed in linking to my team. Team to the meeting room? Team to the meeting room. Basically, what we do. Okay, so there's a question here. Well, we were talking about context, but there's a meeting room question which is related to the previous topic. And the question is that if I go here and just remove that, So you have teams here, right? And with teams, you want to attach a meeting room as well, right? Meeting room, mailbox. Actually, meeting room. What calendar? Obviously, meeting room calendar, right? So what happens in our organization? How do we do that? Normally, we just create one regular user. Oh, so we have a boardroom here, right? Our company, how do we book meetings and use Teams? How do we? So what I'm explaining is how do we book meetings and use Teams. But before that, some people haven't even used Teams. So let me just quickly show you, and I've shown that before as well. There is Teams here. Outlook, yes, it is attached. The mailbox is attached, right? But when it is Teams, okay. Teams is for chat and for direct meetings and conferences, and it opens the Miss. Okay, so you can, yeah. Oh, I didn't create any team. Okay, I'll create one. First. So I'm gonna create some quick team. Although teams topic is coming in very near future. Begin tour. Skip. Okay. Digital copy schedule. So there are teams here. There are teams here, right? So purpose of teams, we actually I showed you before as well. There are teams, and we had done hello with Justin Bieber. And Justin Bieber's team was open. My team was open. My user is this one. We were able to talk with it. But what about booking teams, booking meetings through Teams, through Outlook? We can book meeting. We can just add a calendar here. All right. So with Teams, that's the question. Normally, um, what we do for the booking of the meeting, right? So there's supposed to be a is there a calendar here in we do it another way. I'm going to tell you how we do it, but there's a calendar here, calendar app, right, with Teams. So we don't do it this way. But I'm just saying that if you want to go for it, then how can you do it? So this calendar app here, but it doesn't let you add calendar from others. So schedule meeting. Suppose we go to schedule meeting, but this is just a schedule. Um, and okay, if we are scheduling a meeting, we what's the name of the room there? The name of the room is if I go to resources. So this is the name. Copy. So does it appear here? Well, even if it doesn't appear as you know drop downs for Active Directory, you can just mention that here yourself by uh, like manually, and then whichever user you want to invite, Alex, maybe Alex and Justin, just out. So, well, meeting, meeting in the okay, we we meet in the and then you can just put meeting all F7, and then invite all the users there. On we meet on Monday, right? So this is Monday 31, 10:30, and to 11 a.m. Right? So this is it. And location. So it's an online meeting. Add channel if you have any channel. So all the meetings are showing there now. So just connect on this meeting, and location is obviously Teams online video. Uh, for those who are not attending in the hall, the meeting hall, right? So when you're attending in the meeting, when you're attending a meeting, in the hall. Basically, you just invite through Outlook, and you don't need Teams. Teams is for basically outside, but yes, suppose you have a big screen there and Teams is connected, Teams is showing, and a PC is connected to that big screen. Then you can invite others, and whoever connects from Teams uh, in the meeting hall will their ID will show in the big screen, and there should be Teams there. Now, how we do that? Let me just show you, which is much easier. I mean, can we? Vijay is saying, can we try looking for meeting hall 7 in the location, please? Yeah. So I'll just go for that. So its location, like, is it connected to maps or something? Like, we go for 22. No, it's not connected. So location is something that you can just write yourself manually. Right. So the thing is that you can just put the name there. It doesn't find it. And the second thing is, when we are doing a meeting in a hall, suppose it's all in person, right? So then you just go to Outlook and just simply book it, right? And if it's a meeting uh, where people are attending in the hall, so if I go there, so there is a boardroom there, right? Now there are in-person people are coming in person, and then there will be online also connecting in the same meeting, online as well. So this means that you have to. So suppose this is a boardroom screen. It's a 19 screen or 18 screen. That's what we have in our main boardroom, right? So we have connected this TV screen to PC, and that's the PC is not actually there. It's in the server room, and it's pretty far. So we have the company. We have a contract with the company. They pull the wires over the ceiling, and then those wires went to the other side of the office and this PC. So in the boardroom, we have just keyboard and mouse, right? And that keyboard and mouse are obviously connected to over the network, and over the ceiling their wireless keyboard and mouse connected to a wireless point there. From the wireless point, they are also connected to the PC. So what happens is this PC has Teams, a user account, a basic simple user account logged into it, and that user account, in fact, is called Boardroom PC. That user account is called Boardroom PC account, B dot PC, something like that, and at your company domain. So we're logged in with that. So it's Teams we keep open in the boardroom, and it's Teams, uh, through Teams or through its account calendar, we send invitation. So this account we use actually as a regular user account. We go to its calendar, we invite all the people through Outlook calendar, and then the invitation we say that it's a team meeting for those who are not attending in person, and those who are attending in person, you don't have to bring laptop. You're obviously in person. You can see those as well who are connecting to online. This is a regular account logged into the PC. That PC is projected on the TV screen. There's a keyboard mouse, uh, so we can handle the. We open the Teams application here, and from the Teams application, obviously we just turn on everything. One person here sits, all the other boardroom guys sit here. Uh, so they are all sitting. One of the person only handles keyboard mouse, and on the big TV screen, on the Teams, then they simply start the meeting. Whoever needs to connect, whoever was invited, they are also connected at that time, and they are allowed inside Teams. So Teams meeting starts here, while in person also are there. So Basically, they connected the PC to the TV screen, and that PC has a regular user account, not a resource mailbox. And through that regular user account, we invite users through Outlook calendar, and on the time of the meeting, they connect from home, and they are all projected on the screen. Yes, this is a pretty expensive equipment. So that company has a camera here, so Teams guys can see everyone sitting here, and that has a the whole boardroom has a speaker system, obviously. So when Teams guys are saying anything, everyone is hearing. And in-person guys, they also have mics here in front of their table. So they're all talking. Those everyone is listening. Those guys are talking. Everyone is listening. There's a camera that points to the right that points to this meeting hall. So it's a expensive system which we do that with Teams. So that's how we do it. That seems like a better idea. The resource mailbox would be when you are booking through Outlook, right? Although with Teams also, just add an app and then send that invitation to those guys, and that's it. So I can click the send button, and then it should be part of the meeting, or the invitation has been sent there. But why is it not showing? If I just click that and apps again, I didn't add that app. That's why it's not showing. If I go to apps and calendar, oh, it was 31. That's why. Okay. If I go ahead, yeah, this is the meeting. So 31. This is the meeting. So you can add an app and then send that meeting. And this meeting has gone to those two guys as well. Justin Bieber. So if I go ahead and open one mailbox, because we will be testing for other things. So I'll go for Exchange Online Calendar. No, I'll connect to portal.office.com, and then I'll log in with Justin Bieber, because then we can test all those as well. So I'll quickly log in from that mailbox. Here was the um, yeah, I need still the admin center. And admin center is here. No, here. Where's the admin center? Yeah, there's the admin center. Users, active users. I just need to know just mailbox. I could open it so I could show you that from Teams I invited him, and he got the invitation as well. And what was his email or password? I don't remember that, so I'm just gonna reset his password here in, and require user to change. No, just tell me the password now. This is the password. An email does come there as well, so next time I'll try to remember that too. And oh, that was the only password for testing. Okay. I should have opened the notepad. But anyway, this is the password. I'll just go copy this and Alt tab, go to other screen, and next, and then go for the password. So he should have got the invitation through Teams as well, right? So, and next, and go, log in, and show me upload, logging in. Oh, skip for now, but ultimately I have to put MFA here. Look, next, skip MFA, multi-factor authentication. So we meet in the meeting hall. Okay, so I did that from Teams meeting, and the meeting was, and yeah, this is like join the meeting. Do you have any conflicts? Meeting was, no, and you will attend that on 31st. So you need to select this, and now it's in your it's Justin Bieber's calendar. So if I go to Justin Bieber's calendar, uh, this is July 21, and yes, there's that meeting. I click that, yes. So at that time, he will just click join and he will join the meeting. But it was sent from Teams, and yes, we can send from Teams. Um, so, but that's the way. Let's go back. And so I'm going to close that. And what we were talking about was context after this. And context is just outsider who wants to connect, but you don't need to really create his or her mailbox as well. You don't have to create his or her mailbox as well. So how does it work? The users do want to see his or her contact information, but you as an administrator do not need to create his. Suppose he's working for 3 days only, or just 2 weeks only for the company. After 2 weeks, he's gone. Why should we creating a mailbox? The users of your company wants to communicate with this guy, right? So how do they communicate then? At least put his information, the email or Yahoo email or Outlook Live, whatever email he has, some company email, which is not whose domain doesn't belong to your company domain. Obviously, it's some other domain. So he should be at least in the context list with his own email address. But we're not creating his mailbox. That is context, and he's gone in few days or few weeks. So why should we create a mailbox for him? So that's context. So let's try to check it out. And okay, that's admin center. I do not want it to know it. This. Okay. We are in the Exchange admin center again, and it's the context. So I'm going to create a contact here. Then there is mail user, and there's a contact. So first we're going to create a contact here, and to get started, fill some basic information about who you're adding as a mail contact. So this is just contact information without any mailbox. So suppose it's Travolta. Uh, yeah, I don't really know all the audios. Okay, John Tractors. This villain name not populated automatically. So okay, it was not John, something else. Trouble. And here and the email address. So that's the thing. It's the mailbox not coming from our organization. So it would be whatever John wrote at gmail.com, right? John at gmail.com. Because our employees need to communicate with this guy, they need to know some kind of email. If we're not creating an email for him, then we need to know his email. And we all the employees know he's an outsider, he's a contractor. And contact information, yeah. You will just put all the contact information there, organization information, its title, contract, and department, sales, and company is ABC. So it's not our company. I don't know his manager. Next, that's it. So it's just a contact information of an outsider that will show in Outlook with his own email, john.trevor@gmail.com, and that's it. There you go. Okay. We create contact creation fail, blah blah blah. Combine about perimeter alias. I never had error while creating contact. And especially this kind of error. It's like a huge essay on did I wrong here. Code bad request message cannot find parameter alias to the target. Okay, alias I should not have put space there. I didn't like the space in the alias. Further, further backward alias, no space, right? Okay, I like it. Uh, that thing review. Okay, we're good. So no space in the alias and done. Now this contact is some outsider guy that will be this contact. Okay, one day, Monday or Sunday, it's gonna appear here. But yeah, it takes time. Everything in online. Oh, contacts. There we go. So these are there's another contact already created here. I think it's a guest mail user. So guest, I already created an account there, so they must have created a mail user for that. Anyway, so John Dorda is a contact now. Does he appear in the contact list, right? So we can just go to contact Outlook here, somebody's Outlook, and we're going to the email area here, and then we're going for new email. And suppose we want to talk to this contractor, we're gonna click to and contacts default global address list, and so John's name should appear. Yeah, there you go. So that's it. Contacts are outsiders. Their domain is different. They don't belong to our organization, and we don't create a mailbox for them. Obviously, they do have to communicate with some of our employees, so they should appear in the GAL or global address list. So then the user can just add this plus sign. This is the imaginary email. There is no such email, I guess. But I'm adding that email, and then the user will be able to email this guy just like they are able to email anyone else in the organization, right? But this is just an outsider, and we didn't create it. Hence, the exchange mailbox. This means we saved a license as well. We don't have to use some kind of E1, E3, E5 license, business premium, or any other license. I'm gonna cancel. Oh, well, yeah. So you click save. So then the contact will be used, but it's an outsider. We can email them if it was a genuine email. Right? So we have so this is a contact and pretty straightforward, nothing difficult here. Or then there's an add mail contact and there's an add mail user as well. So that so add mail user has okay. Add mail user is we go there. I'll create another one now. So mail user, and in fact, so this is in writing. So mail user, what we create is and so we just says contacts and M365 admin and Exchange admin are the same. Yeah, exactly. Exchange server basically would be making it a contact there. When we create a contact, its information goes to Azure Active Directory, right? So yes, if it appears as a contact there, it appears. If you created Exchange, it's gonna appear in Active Directory, which means it will automatically appear in Admin Center as well. So whatever in Active Directory that appears in Admin Center. You can make changes in Admin Center. It appears in Active Directory as well. They're all integrated with each other. Okay. So that said, the mail user is we create you know, a user. We create a user in Azure Active Directory. We do create actual user in Azure Active Directory, but we do not create mailbox for this user. So we do not create a mailbox for this user. We do create we create a user in Azure Active Directory, but we do not create mailbox for this user. Now, what happens is and what's the difference between the mail user and mail contact then? Difference. between mail user and mail contact. Mail contact is that mail user gets to have a user account created in AAD, Azure Active Directory, but no mailbox in Exchange, while mail contact does not have a user in AAD nor a mailbox in Exchange. So that's the difference. Right? Then what's the use of mail user still? Uh, we now if I in the diagram I show that. So mail user. So AAD, there's an account there. Why are we doing that? So there's AAD and there's Exchange, right? They are obviously both integrated Exchange. So with mail user, there is an account here, uh, correct? And but there is no mailbox for mail user, right? And for mail contact, so mail contact, no user account in AAD and no mailbox anyway, right? Exchange. So this is mail user, and this is for mail user, and this is for mail contact. Now this is now let's create a mail user. But again, the question is, why would you create an Azure Active Directory account, no mailbox? Uh, this is common between the two users that there will be no mailbox here, right? So Exchange, no mailbox in any. But why for mail user there will be an Azure Active Directory? So a mail user gets account in Azure Active Directory. Uh, Mail user gets an account in AAD because this user then can be added to any resource in AAD. Right? So suppose it's a contractor who actually needs to work in your Azure Active Directory environment as well. So mail contact was just trying to, you can email that person, and maybe when you're doing meetings he is only giving you instructions, he is giving you PowerPoint slides, but he doesn't have to work in your actual cloud environment. That would be mail contact, and it's his own mailbox, you can email him and contact. But mail user, maybe he's a contractor who's an IT contractor, suppose, and he has to connect to your actual cloud environment. He has to be added to certain applications, and he has to be given certain role, so he could perform some tasks for you. When it comes to Exchange mailbox, we still don't create an Exchange mailbox for this person, and this person, you can still use his Gmail, Yahoo, or Outlook, or any other email to contact him. No mailbox still, but yes, an Azure Active Directory user will be there, so the user could be given access to cloud, because suppose he's an IT or he's a developer or he's an IT person. So that would be the difference between the mail user and mail contacts. So we already have created a mail contact and we've added. We saw in the contact list it appeared. Obviously, mail user will also appear in the contact list. Mail user will have a user account only, no mailbox, but a user account in Active Directory. So I'm just gonna go for add a mail user here now, and suppose I'm running out of names. Actually, there are billions of names there. So Simon, um, Brad. Okay, so why is it not populating automatically here? There's Simon, Brad, and external email address. See, no mailbox here. So Simon dot Brad. at gmail.com. And alias, no space there, Simon Grad. Now his user, Azure Active Directory user, is being created. So Simon Grad at. So you not a mailbox, but they need to still create a user principal name or UPN, user principal name, full username. There's no mailbox for it. Otherwise, external email address would not be asked. So just the Azure Active Directory username, but no internal mailbox. And yeah, whatever the password, small ABC, capital C, shift 123, without shift 123, small ABC, and that's it. Next, and don't save. That's it. So pretty simple and straightforward as well. But, no mailbox, but user account, the contractor, maybe an IT contractor, and need he needs to be given access to some of the cloud resources or cloud applications of your company. Right? So I'm gonna click done here, and this name will appear one day, Monday or Sunday. Okay. Sources, groups. There you go, Simon Grad here. SMTP is still outside email, no internal mailbox. But is this name appearing in Azure Directory? Actually, the John Travolta name would be also appearing in Active Directory. But this guy actually, Simon Grad actually has a user account there. So this means that we could add this user to resources. So I'm just going to go to admin center here, and he would be actually a guest user there. Okay, one day, Monday, or Sunday, it's going to appear. But I'm going to go to, oh no, no, he's not going to be a guest user. We created an account for this guy, right? So he should be an active user. So Simon Grad, there you go. So he's an active user, but obviously we haven't given a license to this guy. But that's what the purpose is. That we can give license as soon as we give license. Suppose we go there, and what application this outsider or contractor needs to do. And I'm only 3 licenses are left out of those 25 licenses. So suppose I give this, but he's a contractor who's a specialist of 2 applications. So out of the 62 applications, we don't have to really give access to him all the applications. And suppose he's not working on Exchange. He's not an Exchange administrator. So why should he have access to the Exchange console? And he is not going to be auditing, so no audit access. He's not communication compliance. So you can just go ahead and keep unchecking those applications for the contractor, which he is not supposed to be accessing in your organization. So just uncheck from 62 applications, all those applications that he's not supposed to see. Okay, so 59 applications out of 62, I just unchecked 3, but you can uncheck 360 and just give access to one application. Okay. So save changes here, and the license to assign a license that contains Rockstar Defender for Office 365 Plan 2 must also assign one of the following service plan, exchange plan. Okay, so they are saying that it should have that if you are giving E5 license, especially if you're giving Defender for Office, you should person access to Exchange. Although there's no mailbox, so there's no benefit of that, but some services are connected to each other. Save changes. Okay, so it's done, and license has been given. I'm just going to close that from here, and yeah, there's a license. Now, this is a proper user, so this means that you can go to any resource. You can add this user to any groups as well, security groups, that is, in any applications in Azure Active Directory, or identity is the new name now. Right? So Simon Grad is here, and if I go to show all, then I go down to, I'm in the 365 admin center now, right? And I go to Exchange, sorry, SharePoint. SharePoint, I go there because there's an internal company website there. I can click active sites, and some sites are already created here. Some fake sites are already created there for testing and practicing. When we come to SharePoint, obviously, I will be going through these features. So communication site is here, and then I open that site. Oh yeah, last time also I came here, documents, and so I did upload some file here, or I can just create a new Word document here and save it. If I go back here, so there will be a Word document. Where's the refresh? Yeah, there's a Word document here, and then right here manage access or share. You can do both, and then you can go for start sharing, and then Simon. So Simon is here, the user, and then simply send. Uh, so this will go to his outside Gmail invitation. Simon can be added here. Can John Travolta be added here? So he's just a contact, right? But he's an outsider. So if we support outsider sharing of document, then yes, John Travolta. And that's an imaginary email actually. Johnny. John, uh, no, he's not able to find that. It's just a contact, and that's a good thing. Why? Okay, anyone can tell me why I'm not able to add John Travolta here. So why am I not able to add John Travolta, but I'm able to add Simon Gred? Simon Gred is a male user. John Travolta is a male contact. Why am I not able to add to a company resource, which is a document, John Travolta? Anyone knows?
Because he's temporary contract.
Okay, Raphael says because John is an external user. And agrees or disagrees to that. Okay, Vijay says external user with no AD account. Sandeep says cannot send email. Raphael says not in our directory. Yeah. So that's, yeah, exactly. And others also said the correct thing. Cannot send email, yes, but he does not even exist in our active directory even. So whoever is part of our active directory can get access to all the application resources, but Simon's user account was created in Active Directory. That's why he's able to. We can see his user account. This is his Active Directory user account. But Don is Don dot Raw Volta. His account was not never created in Azure Active Directory. That's why his name would not be appearing to be given access to any of the resources in our cloud, right? So mail contact is just simple address information, we can say address. So he doesn't have an actual Azure Active Directory account, so his account will be given access to any resource. So yes, you're right. Now this is the context, and you can see that mail contact can do nothing in our cloud environment, while mail user, yes, you don't give mailbox to mail user, but you do you can still add this user to sources. Although we gave exchange plan 2 as well. So okay, anyway, so here um, we were talking about, so this at Microsoft 365 Admin Center, and I'm gonna go back to Exchange, and I don't need SharePoint right now. And Exchange Admin Center, I'm gonna go back. This is Exchange Admin Center. So we were talking about resources, and we were talking about context. Now there's another section here called mail flow. uh, and that is very interesting. So, mail flow is all about, hey, is your email going out and coming in to and from internet? Also, um, this is not just about mail flow, because when we created the exchange, or when we started talking about exchange online, so we tested with our mailbox, we were able to email to Gmail account, which is outside of our organization, and we were able to receive email from Gmail account as well. So mail flow from internet is working. Right? What happens is that now, what do you do with the mail flow? Do you want to trace a message that was sent at this time, maybe last week, last 2 weeks ago, last month? Somebody sent a message to somebody. Do you want to trace that? So whatever emails are incoming and outgoing, what do you want to do with that? And some other properties of those, what domains you want to connect to, what connectors are there, what alerts and what policies. So first is message trace here. Message trace obviously is very interesting, and it is used for either investigation, or there are you just want to see that, hey, my email did not reach in time, or did it really reach that other user, or did other users? So suppose somebody sent a Gmail from Gmail an email, a contractor sent an email from his Gmail account to your employee, but your employee says, I didn't receive it, but the contractor says he sent it. So you can trace that maybe, you can go to the recipient, you can tell the trace, hey, this recipient received an email from this time to this time. If it was not, this means that the email never arrived in this whole exchange system. If there it says no, so let's try to trace something. We have sent email from time to time. So all the emails that were received by this user last week, Amir admin, right? So let's just trace first this one. So if I go to that and start a trace here, it's a pretty simple, um, page to configure. If I go for last week, or last 10 days, right? Or last 15 days. No, it's going to take time. Last 10 days. And recipient is, I'll just go for admin. I'll select that. So all the emails this recipient received in last 10 days. And what are the delivery steps for that? So all the emails that were delivered, and expanded means that the person, so suppose they were delivered, but I never opened it. So those emails which were opened as well, show me those emails into the trace, right? And failed emails that failed to get to this recipient, uh, and pending and quarantined, any email that was pending still in the system but hasn't reached this recipient, quarantined. That is also, if the email, there was found some spam there, or there was found some malware, attachments have a virus, you can simply quarantine them. Filtered as spam, so they were filtered as spam. So there's a spam area is different, quarantine is different. So yes, antivirus, malware, anything suspicious, it will be quarantined. For spam, yes, it will be shown. It will be filtered as spam, that it is coming from some known spammers. Suppose if there were some spam like features, we're going to talk about that because it's an upcoming topic as well. And getting status. So still you cannot get the status of that mailbox. That what's so I'm going to keep it to all. But whatever is the status, message ID, we're going to be coming back to that, because you want to track one specific type of email. So you can go to that received email. This is for that. We're going to do a lab after this. That what is message ID used for? Used for, you have received the email successfully, but you still want to trace how long did it take for the sender to send that email and it was received by the sender. So message ID is normally in the received email, in the area I'm going to show you. Then there is direction. Are you It's seeing all the inbound emails only. Whatever emails the recipient received or recipient sent the emails as well, right? So just the sent one, which emails were sent during last 10 days, or which emails were received, all the emails that were received in last 10 days. So inbound, outbound. So I'll stick to all here as well. Original client IP address. So suppose you want to track all the emails coming from a specific IP address. Suppose there's a New York branch and there's a Toronto branch, and a New York branch employee sent an email to Toronto branch employee. So, and you know that it's from New York branch, somebody sent an email, and that person was in the office at that time. So, all the emails coming from this because I haven't sent the name of the sender. We can put the name of the sender as well. Right now, I'm saying any sender who have sent any email to this guy here, this mailbox, last 10 days, with whatever delivery status is there, and all inbound and outbound email. But I'm not mentioning any IP here because I don't have any specific IP. There's summary report here, report type. Summary report is there, instant online access. So right away, it's gonna tell you then, give you the report, or it has summary report, downloadable CSV file. This takes uh, enhanced summary report and extended summary report. These both take time then, and they then extract a more detailed report. In fact, just more detailed than the above one. And the extended is most details are there, but they too take time. And when I'm doing a trace in my company, so uh, if it's a huge amount of emails, then the report comes after 3 or 4 hours, right? It takes time. Right now on the first one, which instantly gives me the results. So we don't have much emails here, like maybe 20, 30 emails I have in this mailbox. So let's see what it shows here. I'm gonna click search, and so that's it. Our emails on 29th, which is today, emails on 25th, 24th, 22, whatever emails were coming, and they were all delivered. Status is delivered. So there is no undelivered, there is no quarantine, there is no anti spam or filtered as spam. So all emails that were received in last 10 days only are here right now. Right? So if we go, so this is how trace looks like. I'm going to go to the trace again. Message trace here again, and there's a journal report here as well. Messages sent from uh, my primary domain in the last day. So yesterday, all emails sent from my domain and messages that were received by my primary domain. So these are journal reports, and they give you an overall uh, uh, review of all quarantine messages. Were there any messages quarantined? So if you click that, those rules are already set up for last 7 days. Any message that was quarantined, give me a summary. If I click search, I don't think anything was quarantined. And so these are general ones. So on Monday morning, you can come, you can check, you can come here to message trace, and then check, click here, and check the what happened yesterday, what happened last week. These are all failed messages for the last 7 days. If I go there, search, actually two messages failed as well. Okay, which messages failed? Accepted we meet in meeting hall. So this failed actually. Testing distribution this failed as well. So yeah, but when we go fail, so then I did a trail. So that is copy report, and then they give a full not delivered. Obviously, where you see the message that is being specified but couldn't deliver it to the recipient. The falling error found. So I think I emailed too early, and the mailbox was still being created in the background, and so it failed to reach, and it could not find that. So NDR is non-delivery report. NDR is non-delivery report. So you can just take out the whole diagnostic message and keep it as a record that you can put it in the ticket that okay, this actually happened. O and K. So if we go back to message trace here, I start a trace here. Uh, then uh, so we talked about one mailbox sent. Now what about the message ID here? So email is or has already been received, but we still want to track it, trace it. So it says that, hey, do you have a message ID? That message is already there. So grab an ID from there, and then we'll check that when it was sent, at whom it was sent, and when did it reach. So that one. So where's the message ID in received email? So for that, we have to go to the mailbox, and then suppose this is the email received, or but I sent some emails. These are just kind of messages, automated messages, right? But was there any email that was sent without the system? Okay. So if I send, yeah, Justin Bieber is on the other side. The other side. So I'm just gonna quickly send an email from Justin Bieber to my account, under admin, and yo, hey, uh, hey, um, fine. So yeah, some people don't have words, or not enough left with enough words. So just say, okay, hey, oh yeah, I forgot same place. Okay, further information I cannot reveal because that would be not good. Okay, I'm just gonna send that, and I'll go to the other side, and yeah, um, oh, yeah, I don't know. Okay, anyway, so here we have a message exchange, but this message was received. This message was received here, and yeah, so it's a conversation now. So I'm just gonna go to the message down here, and yeah, so here if I go to the three dots of the received message, can you make simple alias of messages? Resources. Alias of messages, and we make alias of
Uh,
uh,
like
we can
ID.
make alias of the users. If you want to give another name to a box or a user, it is possible, but alias to messenger, maybe you meant, but no, not to messages. Uh, that's not
Like for
right.
IDs also.
So yeah,
So I
but alias to messages. So if you say that, when we go to the mailbox, and mailbox is here, and there's Adele, and it's for the users as well as the mailbox. That yeah, there's a alias here, right? So in the manage contact information, there's an alias. So you can give another name to that, Adele, and CEO of the company. Uh, so be afraid. Oh, uh, so don't try this in your company. Okay. But anyway, yeah, you can just change the alias as well this way. But other than that, no. Messages, no. That is so. Going back to this, and where was it? Message trace, and start a trace, and the message ID I needed, right? So where do I get the message ID? And I've sent an email back and forth. So I'm going to the Outlook and going to the received email, and here always so there's a view, and then there's a view message, so view and view message details. When I click the message details, then it gives me these message ID, and it's a pretty long name here. So what you do is you just copy this and take it to message trace, and it needs brackets and everything, or it needs message ID only. So inbound refers to messages sent to users in your organization. Outbound refers to messages sent from people in your organization. So yes, it's both inbound and outbound, but from so outbound messages are where? You know that, right? The messages that we have sent. So this is received, right? So sent messages would be obviously here in the sent items folder. And I don't know you. I sent any outside message, but you want to trace that too. So then you can go to view and send message if you want to. This is the sent one, right? So where would we see the this is access policy? Not the upcoming report. Junk, no, that's the report. Uh, no, it doesn't show me the details now. Maybe after some time the details start appearing. Suppose I go for some other set, old ones, and view. So it does not show the that what I was seeing there. The details is not the details option does not show here yet, but we will have to check then where does the option of details. So how do we get the sent from the sent items the message header so we could track it, right? We'll check that. But let's go for the received ones and check what it look like. View and view message details, and this is the header, right? So this is what we have copied. I'm just gonna go back here, and yeah, this is the header. Then it's all actions, summary report, and well, I haven't added any recipient, but this is ID. So if I click search while just only adding ID, what does it come up with? So it says that yeah, sender was Justin J. Bieber, and recipient was this, and subject was this, and it was actually delivered. Right? So if I click that, then it goes in detail, and that diagnostic details is what you would want to know. That's received, processed, delivered. Okay, and it was delivery time was this, and exact time in minutes and seconds was this when it was received. It was recipient's inbox folder. It went there. Suppose you have a policy here in the inbox folder that any message coming from J. Bieber, you create a rule there. Any message coming from J. Bieber should go into a folder, right? Some kind of folder here. So suppose you create a new folder, and that new folder here is sales and anything. So now, once you create a folder, you go to J. Bieber, and then you create a rule here that any email, so always move messages from Amazon. No, or not Amazon. Okay, I then went over. Well, I opened the rules anyway for messages from yeah, J. Bieber. Amazon. Any messages from J. Bieber, any messages from Justin. Uh, move them to an action. So move to and then a folder that I just created. Right? Move to inbox. Oh, I just created that folder, but it's not showing there. For a different folder, if I go, yeah, it should. Yeah, sales department. This is the folder I just created. So any message he gives, move it to different folders. Stop pressing more rules. Run rule now. I'm gonna save. So whatever messages were there from Justin Bieber will all move from this. The rule has run. I'm gonna close that. And yeah, his message was on the top, but no longer there. But it should be in the sales here. Okay. And there you go, message here. Okay, so I'll refresh that. The sent items box. If I go up, they're not here. They did move it to sales, right? Or sales. Oh, maybe the other sales. Sales.
Sales department.
Monday, Monday, or Sunday. But well, it's not. Okay, so it's not appearing. Oh, it's a box. This department. Actually, that sales were I choose it. So if it appeared, if it went to sales department, then the tracking also tells you that it actually moved to sales department. So you can create rules there that that tell that detail. So if I go to Beaver again and then new email to our admin and then testing uh, email tracking, click proceed. Now, Beaver sent an email. That email should automatically land on that folder because I created a rule there. So it's inside that sales department folder. If I go to inbox, it's not there. It automatically any email from him always here, right? But does the tracking cover that too? Does the track auto magically covers that? So if I click that and now the message I have to grab. So first of all, I go to message trace. So I start trace. I need the message ID for that particular message, right? Because it ended up in a folder inside inbox, right? So if I go there and three dots and view and message details, I just want to check that is it does the message trace actually tells that it landed in which exact folder? So and this is the new message ID and whoever sent to whoever just tell me the whole thing for this particular message ID. No data available. Now there's a data available and status. Okay, so it hasn't done. It's not done yet. Fresh, fresh, E and fresh. In status still. Okay, one day, Monday or Sunday, it's gonna get the status. Are you kidding me? If I go to diagnostics, it's still diagnosing. Not yet delivered. Are you kidding me? Well, I'm just checking too soon. Um, yeah, it says their message received. This message was received. Okay. Yeah. And the message was submitted. So 11:23, 11:23. Yeah, it was received. So not yet delivered. Why would you say that? Uh, Again, I'm checking soon. It should be done. Then I should check. Fresh delivered. Okay. Now it's good. Yeah, don't jump on the reports. And folder, yes, that's what I want to show you. If the user has made a rule that move all the messages from this guy to my folder, that folder, the exchange trace will uh, tell you that it's not an inbox. It was actually in a subfolder. Which subfolder? This is also there. So it's very good because uh, sometimes the users who are like not very good with technology, they still are users, not very good with technology. They say that hey, that user was sent me an email, I didn't receive it, and there's a ticket then created. Then you track that email, or you tell them that hey, can you forward that email, or just send the your information and the timing. And the user said I sent it, and the other user said that I didn't receive it. What do you do? Then you do the tracking, tracing that any email sent from the user John to Sandy, right? He says I didn't receive it. John says I sent it. So any email sent from John to Sandy would then go up there in the trace and just put the sender and the receiver, and they will tell you then which folder it actually received. And then sometimes the tickets is like that I didn't receive it, and then we have to tell the user, hey, you created a rule where all the emails from John will be going to certain folder. And we tell the user, hey, go check your certain folder. And when he or she checks it, oh, sorry, I created that rule, I forgot. Okay, anyway, so the trace is very good and it's pretty powerful as well. And so it can trace, from whoever to whoever for last 90 days. That's it, 3 months. 3 months back, you can trace, or actually, no, it's not 3 months. If I go to custom time range, custom time range is also here. How far back can I go? So July, June, May, April. Now I cannot click it. It's all grayed out. It's grayed out. So yes, it is 90 days, 3 months. So this is as furthest back I can track any message. That's how long the um, Microsoft saves it. They say, hey, 3 months, that's it. Other than that, then yeah, there are other tools as well, like e-discovery. It goes back to 8 to 9 months. I think it's either 8 months or 9 months. It don't keep records of pretty much everything. It's better than you archive all the emails, right? Or back up somewhere, because Microsoft will not keep whole planet's emails. Then their storage will be, overburdened. Okay. So yeah, this is overall the trace, and there are many many other ways. So this is message trace. Custom query is just a custom query which I just showed you. Auto save whatever queries you have saved. Custom query, you can just put the time yourself instead of the bar. This is the custom time range. So and that goes. Hey, actually, if I go to custom query and then start a trace, for the same thing, nothing else. So you just go custom primary and put your own time. Anyway, so this is trace. And then there are rules, and rules are a really cool stuff. And when it comes to so rules are that your email. So let's talk about rules. Add, edit, or make changes to your transport rules. What are transport? New mail flow rules, UX in new exchange, etc. Yeah, they've moved those rules to another area. Mail flow rules UX in the new EAC Exchange Admin Center. EAC Exchange Admin Center has been enhanced and modernized. This updated experience is consistent with the new Exchange Admin Center design and will enable easier rule management. So basically, but it's not about where it is; it's about what it is right now, right? Mail flu, massive flu. So in Exchange Online organizations or standalone Exchange Online production, you also have just the production features of Exchange if you have on-premises X and Exchange, right? But, so there are in Exchange Online and EOP, you can use mail flow rules, also known as transport rules. So these are transport rules. Oh, the transport rule. Transport rule is that you have so transport is that it's email in transit. So emails are coming inbound and outbound emails, right? So uh, rules we can apply to inbound or incoming emails from internet to your organization, or from within organization, one user to another user. Inbound rules that we can apply it to inbound, out inbound emails, but the main word is what? In transit. So it is inbound, outbound rules in transit. The emails are coming from internet to your org. This is org setup, right? And from our org to internet. So do you want to put some rules there? But the rules can be implemented as long as they are in transit within your organization, obviously, right? So from internet, somebody sent an email from Gmail. Now, obviously, over the internet, it is traveling, and as soon as it enters your organization, it hits your exchange connectors, receive connectors. So then, the rule that you implemented for any inbound emails applies right away. So obviously, rule cannot be applied over the internet when it enters your organization. Only then that rule will be applied, right? We're gonna go through the rules as well. Uh, so when somebody is obviously sending an email outside as well, and it is in transit, so the send button is clicked. After that, it is in transit, it is moving. So then, what kind of rules you want to implement? Right? So it's a moving email, and you're putting some rules on the email in transit. That's the so that's transport rules. Very, very interesting and very powerful. Transport rules or name is not new. It's also the old rules. That's it. Rules. Mail flow rules. We also say that, or just rules. We also say that. But overall, they are rules for mail in transit. So these rules are. Let me just copy it from the. So this is a good read. Mail flow rules for exchange transport rules, and that are you know I'll just put here as well. Exchange mail flow rules or transport. So here it's a good read, and obviously mail flow rules are similar to the inbox rules that are available in Outlook and Outlook on the web, formerly known as Outlook web app. The main difference is mail flow rules take action on messages while they are in transit, not after the message is delivered to the mailbox. Mail flow rules contain a richer set of conditions, exceptions, actions. So these are the three things. Combination of this. Hey, you want to put some conditions there? If you send from that person this, what are the actions? And except for that, do all these actions, whatever actions you choose, and whatever conditions you put. If there are any exceptions, you put that too. They're very powerful, and every organization uses them extensively. Use them extensively. So anyway, uh, I've shown you an Outlook rule already, where Justin Bieber emails will land in that particular sales department folder. That was Outlook rule. It was working fine. I sent email and went to that Outlook subfolder, right? So transport rules are on all the emails that are in transit, right? In transit is the word as well. So let's
What do you
copy
mean by
this
in transit?
and let's implement some of those rules, which are very interesting.
Excuse me.
Okay, so
Hello.
now how do rules work? If we go back here, and that is the an exchange server. The rules are here. They say that navigate to the old version in the class. Are you kidding me? The new mail flow rules UX is now the default in the new EAC. Yeah, we are in the new EAC, right? Yeah. The old mail flow rules UX in the classic EAC is scheduled to be retired. Okay, if in case you want to go there. Just to DLP, data loss prevention, DLP, interesting features there. We're going to be going through all those. Just to DLP policy in the exchange, admin center, EAC. Uh, so Raza says in transit is not clear. If I go to Outlook and go to, oh, this is Teams. So if I go to the just in email and Palmer admin, if I just type here, that's in fact, I'll go for ccitguyme@gmail.com. Uh, are you writing all this? I use this. This is actually going to Gmail now, right? When I go for test, so in transit means right now not moving until I press the send button, right? As soon as I press the send button, what will happen? The email will be in transit. It is moving, it's traveling now. So in transit means traveling as well. So as soon as I click send, now it's in the system and it's moving this sending this email to Gmail and the other one. Okay, I think ID guy me. That's why it didn't go to the Gmail. Address was wrong, but it was traveling. So in transit just means traveling. As soon as it starts moving away, as soon as you click the send button, it's in transit, it's traveling. So and then where does it go? It's in the exchange application system then, right? So I was saying that so this transport rule, this exchange application, there are connectors there. It's in the Microsoft network in the background. So exchange. Now there is John sending email to Sandy, right? And they are both internal employees, suppose. John sent an email. The email has to travel in Microsoft background network to reach Sandy, right, within the exchange environment. So this traveling is called in transit. It is traveling, it is moving. If John sent an email to outside in Gmail, it's traveling there. As long as this is traveling within our Exchange Microsoft network, we can implement a rule on that. As soon as it reaches out, now this is Wild West, right? This is internet. So as soon as it leaves our organization premises, it is in transit still, but now our rules cannot apply. Rules can apply as long as it is in the Microsoft Exchange network and it is moving, and we can apply a rule on top, right? So that is transit just means it's a travel. Okay, so but how does it work? If I go back here and so here it is DLP policies, blah blah blah, migrate policies. Okay, DLP will be covering. It's coming soon. Very interesting policies. Office 65 message encryption will be it will retire, and it's a purview message encryption. So there are new names for the same features, and it's under purview with compliance. But we will visit all that. Right now, it says here rules and learn more about the rules. No last execution data. Okay, anyway, we can execute rules from here. Um, I'm gonna click add a rule. There are so many rules here. Right? Create a new rule. Apply Office 365 message encryption and rights protection to messages. Let's go for a simple one just to get an idea about what are we talking about here, right? So I'm gonna go for create a new rule. So it says, oh, you want to set a rule. What kind of rule you want that? Apply this rule if are there. If the sender is whoever the sender is, if the recipient is this, or if the subject contains, if the email body contains what? You need to define some value here. Any attachment, if an email comes with any attachment, any recipient, if the message, so maybe there's a message and it says, somebody says, hey, sell all your shares. If the message is, and then you can say, the wordings of the message are, sell all your shares, right? Then redirect it to someone else. for investigation. If the sender is this and recipient is that, these two guys are sending email to each other. Then what do you want to do something about it? And the message properties. This is the more sneakier one, right? But I have to. I'm gonna go for a simple one just to check. The message header is this. The message properties is this. I'm gonna go for if the sender is, and I'm gonna go for this person and JB group. So JB. If uh, Justin sends, the sender is Justin, right? So, so I'm gonna put their transport rule for JB. You can just name it anything. So if the sender is this, do the following. Do what? Then you can do all this. Forward the message for approval. Redirect the message to. Block the message. Add one more recipient. So the sender did not add that other recipient, but you can add another recipient after Justin has sent an email. Then you can add another recipient as well, and he doesn't know that. Oh, it's going to someone else as well. Seriously, how do you? So apply a disclaimer to the message, modify the message properties, modify the message security, append the subject of the message with, notify the sender with a policy tip, generate incident report, and send it to notify the recipient with the message. Okay. Forward the message for approval is there. Redirect the message to. So Beaver actually is sending a message to someone, and I'm gonna put a rule as soon as he sent the email, and he has no idea that there's a rule there that is implemented. Redirect the message to these recipients. Redirect the message to where I redirect. So this means that he's sending to someone, whoever he's sending to, it actually lands here in this mailbox. So there's an exception here as well. If you want to, if the recipient is this, then you can put the exception. Suppose you put a recipient mailbox here as well. That if the recipient is Sandy, suppose if you put that name here, and whenever Justin Bieber sends email to Sandy, it will actually go. It will not be redirected. Otherwise, if he sent to anyone else, it will be redirected. So that's this, right? We just said in the chat, the message is redirected. Will the sender be aware of this? We get notified. Well, as far as I know till now, it's unless Microsoft has made a change, but the sender will not have the knowledge of that. So obviously, it comes from up from the managers, from directors, or from the CEO. If they want to do that, then otherwise, obviously, administrators are not supposed to do that. And no, the sender doesn't know that. But now we're gonna test that if Microsoft has added that feature. Oh, your email was redirected to this guy. So anyway, but they're not supposed to know that. I'm gonna click next here. There's enforce. There is a test with policy tips. This means that the user will be notified. Hey, your email is whoever you're sending to is going to be redirected to that guy. If you want to make that person aware that there's policy that does this, then the policy tips will appear. A test without policy tips, then it will not have policy tips. Mention what's the policy, right? I'm enforcing it right now, and severity is suppose Justin has sent some emails which were against the business rules, and it was against the company as well. And now you want those emails to be redirected. Sometimes this happens, or the other scenario is that the user is gone on vacation, has left the company, and the other user on behalf of this user is sending. So you can also redirect that message. Or if the user has a forwarder, you can user has left the company, you put a automated forwarder. Any email that comes to this user gets redirected, or any mail actually is just sending, right, not coming. On coming email, also you can put something that okay, redirected to my mailbox. Anyway, let's just test that first. High severity is high, suppose, or it's low. It's up to you. Activate this rule on. If you want to schedule this and do not activate now, you can schedule it with this. I want to activate it now, so I'm not gonna like this. And stop processing more rules. No. I'll just keep this rule up and running. For the message if rule processing doesn't complete, if some error occurs, then don't run this rule. This is what it means. I still want to match sender address in message header and below. So yeah, just check that. Is it the same address, Justin Bieber at whatever the domain? And I don't have any comments for this policy. It's not gonna. This is for the administrators. So uh, Justin's emails will be redirected to admin uh, and approved by the director. Okay, suppose there was approval there, and that's it. Review and finish. And now I'm going to send an email from Justin. I'll go there. Now I'm testing it to phone. Maybe I should give it a time, or let's just still test it. So I am sending email to Alex. Justin is sending email to Alex because this is Justin mailbox, right? So he's sending email to Alex, and yo, um, yo, uh, party, um, party, um, day. Obviously, why am I stuttering here today? But no admin because I am. Anyway, so I'm just putting something, and admin is not supposed to see that, and it's he doesn't know that it's gonna be redirected to admin. You know. Well, not kidding. Let's test it. So he is not sending to admin directly. He's sending to some guy Alex here. But does the rule implement or not? So um, I'm gonna go to my the box here, and oh, this is Teams. Look, okay, it's Beeb's email, right? And till now, no. So any Justin email, there's a Outlook level rule. This is not a mail flow rule or transport rule. This is Outlook rule. Any email from him comes to me. So it was sent to Alex, but I had put a rule there that it should be redirected to Amir admin. Hopefully, it was Amir admin. So I'm just gonna refresh that. Maybe the rule is, as I'm saying that maybe it's too soon that I'm implementing this or checking this because we need to give it some time. So yeah, it hasn't arrived because rule is not implemented. This means it must have arrived to us. So I can actually open Alex mailbox. In fact, Firefox actually opened a totally new window there. Portal office.com. I'll quickly move to Alex mailbox. It's supposed to be sent to Alex, obviously, for that. But so that if Alex received it, obviously the rule did not implement. If I receive it, obviously the rule has implemented. So Alex, I'll just quickly grab his email password, reset, set. I need his username password now, and put it in Notepad for future use, and log in from it now. Go to the new. Oh, what happened here? This is it logged in from Beats here as well. So I'll just log in from Beats. I hope it did not sign out from the other side as well. Yeah, this is other private browsing, and it's okay. So this is the second. I'll just log in from switch to a different account and sign in. It heard a cling, which does mean something, but since I'm opening Alex, so we will also test that if Alex did receive it, even though the rule implemented for redirection, did Alex receive it or not? Right? Seriously. Verify your identity. Oh man. So it's coming to my cell phone. So I did configure that. Alex. Okay. 481 825 verify. Okay, I'm logged into Alex. Okay. I need to log into his Outlook. Yeah, he received it. Okay. Alex received it, but if I go to my mailbox admin, uh, it was Alex who received it. This means the rule did not apply. I'll just send one more. Maybe by now it has applied because Justin emails are supposed to be here. So I'll just do that again one more time. So I'll go to Justin and fresh. Oh, Alex. So Justin is no longer logged in. Okay. So private browsing is not really separating. The two private browsers are not separating from each other. So I'm logged in from Justin here, Alex here. Other browsing also it is logging in from Alex. So I need a third browser. And I'll use now to log into another user, right? Uh, so I'll go. This page is so bad. As soon as I open this page in the office, then I start reading all this, and it really wastes my time. Before I realize that it's like 5 minutes wasted. Portal.office.com. Oh yeah, I can change that policy. No news comes when we open a new page. You can easily change that. Okay, enter your account. I'll go to Justin from Edge browser, and it logged in from some account already. Oh man. So I'll just log in from Justin and send an email and see if the policy by now has implemented or if there was some something wrong with the policy. Refresh or okay, go back and it should show me the sign in page now. Okay, now just email. I'll just control C and his password. Sign in. Next. Skip setup for MFA now, which is not recommended in our environment. Yes, and but account doesn't have permission to view or manage this page in the Microsoft Admin Center. Which page? I'm logging in for that. Switch to an account that has permission to do what? Enrolls. Oh, okay. So portal.office.com. Give me an initial page. Uh, Next. The browsers really are pain in the setup. Number in. And so I'm gonna open Outlook and I'm gonna send an email. I think by now, hopefully the rule has applied. When I'm sending email to Alex, it should redirect to admin. Okay, again it's asking who are you while I'm opening Outlook, which is good. Asking for MFA again, and I skip it. And now finally I'm inside just an email, and then I'm going for new email, and so I'm sending email to Alex again. Um, Alex, Alex Wilbur, and test uh, you know, transport rule one or transport rule message redirect, right? Redirect. That is the rule we're testing. Okay. So I'll just send to Alex, and Alex is here, and I am here. So if I go to Alex, um, yes, okay, it's still uh, didn't redirect. Or if I go here to my admin account now, this means there's something wrong with the rule, I guess. That is not really doing what I told it to do. And now it should have been directed. So I'm gonna check the rule here. Go to trace. Oh, I need to. I need to disable it, man. Dude, it's supposed to be enabled. Did I not enable it? To enable. It works, yeah. I, why is it set? Transport rule, yeah. Sender is person this. Do the following direct message to these recipients, yeah. Save. Okay. So now we find out that updated successfully. Done. Um, dude is enabled. Okay. Now it's gonna work. Seriously? Okay, sorry about this. I should have known that. I was testing something. So, okay, I'm gonna go to Edge. Because it has taken me to the Edge now. And Alex. And redirect to this is an email, right? And well, hopefully I'm not testing it too soon, so I'll just send that. Okay, here's a turn. So I'm gonna first check with Wilbur. Oh, Alex. Alex still received it. If I go to my mailbox, it could be too soon to check this. So yeah, and it's break time as well. So it's got enabled. So there's some background processing going on, and let's check it out afterwards. It's enabled. Fresh. Enabled. Fresh. Fresh. It's enabled. So I'll just yeah, go ahead. So I'm trying to make it happen. Let's direct the message to. So this is attempt number three. Um, so we can give it time as well before the rule actually sinks in. Uh, yeah, it still keeps going there, and still checking here because it could be, or I could just as another rule. But let's give it time, and let's take a break as well. Um, now or yeah, let's take our break. Come in 20 minutes. Um, and then we're going to check this rule, and then I'm going to add some more rules there as well. Okay, so we're going to do that. Let's take a break. So break class starts 12 20. We can pause it. Alright guys, so recording has resumed and hopefully you're able to hear me. And let's carry on. So we had implemented a rule, uh, transport rule, where um, let's just visit the rule again and check it out. What was configured. So we had enabled this rule where transport will name is in full high and the matching error. So apply this rule if is received from JBeaver the following: set order severity to high and redirect the message to admin. Yeah, well, it's pretty straightforward rule. Edit rule conditions. If I go there, the sender apply this rule if the sender is this person and redirect the message to these recipients. So yeah, pretty straightforward. It should work. But guys, so here done, and I'll just try again, and hopefully it does work. And Control C, new email. Alex is not sending it to your admin. Free. Control A, Control C, Control V, send, and oh, who's this? Well, let's send it. Uh, he said it to himself. Yes, I was supposed to be here in JB, but this rule is implemented on Justin. So Alex and it was supposed. Okay, now it's 4. Let's not to confuse anything. So Justin is sending to Alex, and the rule should be redirected. Otherwise, so I'm going to go for next rule as well and check that if the previous rule is still applied or not. So this was 3. I has sent 4, right? So test report. If I go here, now see this. So now it worked. So we need to give that kind of time for it to work. So as transport rule 4, I just sent from Justin, and it was the email was supposed to be sent to Alex, but instead redirected to my mailbox. Now it's working, and it was alert 4. If I go to Alex mailbox, so it's showing email till 3. There is no latest email, so it's not. Yeah, Justin has sent to Alex. It never reached Alex, and it got redirected to um, the other mailbox. Now, what are the use cases for that? That's still a discussion. I mean, you never have to use that ever. I never had to use this till now. In even previous companies, I didn't have to use that. So it's the rule is there. The first thing is whenever you implement a transport rule. So yeah, it is working. A rule itself is working. What's the reason for this rule to be created? Like, what's the use case for that? So if you don't want it, don't use it. It's there, and I wanted to show you that hey, it works. Rules are pretty amazing. You just have to wait a little for it to implement. Was the only thing, and you have to enable it as well separately. So I'm just going to go back here. So that rule implemented. Let's go for another rule, and there is a create new rule. And first we can check that what kind of rule that we would want to implement. So redirect does work. And there is an approval message as well. Now we have 3 mailboxes, so yes, we can do that too. So what we want is that message approval rule for Alex. Okay, this is implemented for Alex. Apply this rule if the sender is Alex. Is this person Alex? It's kind of same logic and do the following. Forward the message for approval to. First, it has to be approved, right? So either to any of the people you add here, and the email will go to those for approval, or it will go to the sender's manager, the manager that was mentioned in Azure Active Directory for the user profile. So I'm going to go for these people, and then obviously I'll just put it to my currently logged in user. Or Alex needs approval from Justin. How about that? So Alex is sending email to me, but Justin is his manager, or Justin is someone with whom Alex do need approval before the email could be forwarded to the actual destination. Right? So I'm adding it needs to be approved by Justin, and that's it. So I'm gonna click next. I need to enforce it right now. And severity, it's not severe, so it's just I'll just put low. And yeah, the rest of the things I'm not changing anything from here. And click. Okay, so 36, yeah, now. So we just said in the chat, what if the user is a part of a deal and the mail is sent to the deal email instead? Would still apply the rule? Like whatever you add here, it will apply. So suppose there's a deal for manager. This distribution list, which consists of only 2 or 3 managers. Maybe it's a huge department, sales department. There are 10,000 people just in sales department, and so their managers group that would see the email from certain employees, and managers need to approve that. Any manager in that deal could approve that, but the approval email will go to actually whoever is a member of that deal. So first of all, does it work on DL? That's the question, or not. Instead of so I've added Justin Bieber, but I'm gonna go for so it says to these people, right, or to the centers manager. Normally, it could be a couple of people, or so I'm just gonna edit that, and it says to select a user. You can either search for the user or select from the list. To add recipients who aren't on the list, type their email address and it will resolve automatically if the email address is valid. So it does not give me an option for selecting deal, but I can still go for sale if it comes up. Actually, it does. It does appear that it's letting me add the group as well, or deals as well, right? Sales email group. I created that. So okay, I'm gonna add that. This means that we're gonna check the mailbox of one of the members. In fact, I'll just add X. No, I'll add myself in this. So sales email group. So I would check that if it appears. It should actually. I'm gonna go ahead and open another Exchange server and go to groups, sales email group. This is the sales email group, and I'll check that who's the member. And if I am not the member, then I will add myself as the member. So because my mailbox is open, I'll check it right away. Yeah. So I am the owner, but I'll just add myself as the member. I should be getting email, and it's not gonna let me add it if it thinks that I'm already added. So no, it is letting me add. So this means uh, I'm supposed to be added here. Yes, I'm added now. And in the sales group, I'll refresh. Now I'm going back to this passport rule where the distribution list is also added and the member of that too. I forgot one more thing. Who else is the member of? I don't need Alex and Justin to be members there. I don't want them to be members. So either Justin is a member, so I'll remove that. to remove any confusion. So this is supposed to be the DL for managers. We're just pretending it is supposed to be a DL for managers. I'm just gonna remove it because Justin user is a separate in this example. So what I'm doing is, let me just put that here. Uh, Testing transport route of approval. So Alex will uh, Alex will email some user. Uh, this email should automatically go to Justin for approval. Uh, it should also go to all members of our DL distribution list, right? The email group. It should also go to all members of our DL as well for approval. Right? Once approved, this email should go to the actual recipient whom it was meant for. Um, so Amir admin is in DL, and Justin also is set to receive as a single user approval email. Right? So okay, this is what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna go back here, and I'm gonna go back here, and what I was doing was, so I added a distribution list as well as the Weaver, both all members of this, and Justin should be receiving the approval email from Alex before it could be sent. So anyone approves, it goes. It doesn't wait for obviously all of them. So we're gonna check that too. So save and next. That's it. Enforce. It's still not enabled. We know that now. Force. I think the enable. No. Nowhere. Okay. Finish. Oh, sorry. Look at the transfer tool. Executing commandlet. Blah blah blah. Sales email group can't be used for the moderation action. The recipient must exist in the organization and can be a. There you go. Okay, that's very good that we checked it. Otherwise, we would have had to take down. So it cannot be a distribution group. Okay, there we go. So it's clear. It cannot be a distribution group. Which makes sense that yeah, one user, two user, but managers don't come in hundreds or tens of hundreds. It could, but they don't. By design, they don't support it. Okay, that's clear. Now I'm gonna click save. This means that Alex is sending email to me, Amir admin, and but it has to automatically first go to approval for Justin. Justin approves it, then it reaches Amir admin. So that's the new scenario now. And I'm gonna next, and finish. So it's here. Once approved, this email should go to the actual recipient. So DL is not supported for approval. Okay, Justin also is set to receive as a single user approval. Justin is set to receive. Okay. Once approved, this email should go to the to alright. Okay. Now it's just done. Let's go ahead and implement that. So done. And yes, it is disabled right now. I'm just gonna go there separately and enable it. This action also makes sense because sometimes if tools have something very sensitive configured and something by mistake got configured, and as soon as you implement it and if it was automatically enabled, then it would just execute the whole thing. It could affect the whole organization as well. That's why they put an extra step of enable it as well, enabling it as well, right? I'm just giving it a little more, and because when we try it right away, it's not implemented. In fact, we can go for checking other rules as well, and we can discuss some other rules, and then by that time, this rule will be ready. We this rule be ready to be implemented. Right. So I'm gonna go for another rule. We're gonna discuss that while okay, let me just check still that if I send an email to from Alex to me, then go for approval now. Maybe the rule got implemented right away. So on admin and testing um, approval rule damn till so it's the email is going there to but it's supposed to automatically go to Justin now, right? Okay, I'm going to send that, and Justin is in Edge browser. Yes, oh yes, it worked. So there's an approval email. So remember that email that Alex sent, it was sent to Amir, right? My mailbox is here. If I go here for my mailbox, I didn't receive any latest email from Alex, right? It's, but Justin received it, and it is a approval email. Without, if I don't approve it or reject it, then Amir will not get it, right? So that's very important. So whenever Justin has approved it, then we can do that. So edit before sending, send now. When you're rejecting, you can the manager can edit that as well. That what are you sending there, rejecting it. So I'm gonna just click approve. Justin is approving that. Once it is approved, now uh, Amir admin is supposed to receive, and yes, now I take approval attempt one, so successful in attempt one. So yes, the transport rule really are amazing, and they work. They're perfect. They're perfect. So I'm gonna go back to the transport rules again, and we can, this is something that you get the hang of now. Get an idea about this. That it is for any email that is traveling, and you can do any of those things. Restrict managers and their redirect and their direct reports. Restrict messages by sender or recipient. Send messages to a moderator. Send messages and save a copy for review. Send messages and save a copy for review. So whoever you implement that on, so a copy of that person's email will be sent for review as well. So all that happens automatically. If I go for create a new rule for one more rule, so yeah, these are all the ones. And modify the master properties, apply a disclaimer to the message. So you can apply a disclaimer as well, but like this message is intended for the eyes of the beholder or eyes of is intended for the recipient only, and it should not be read by anyone else, right? Here is another one: add recipient, or just simply block the message. So we understand that yeah, it's gonna work. Or notify the sender with a policy tip. Maybe we can just add that. So what's the policy tip? So policy tip transport rule, and select one. If this rule is uh, by this rule, if the sender, the recipient, the subject or body is this, any attachment, any recipient, the message, the sender and recipient, message properties. So you can see that, or you can apply it to all the messages. Maybe I will apply it to all messages this time. Modify the sender the with a policy. Select one. So choose a policy tip option. Now, what kind of policy tip you want to give? Whether the message is blocked or can be set. Notify the sender, but allow them to send. Block the message. Block the message unless it false positive. Block the message, allow the sender to override and send. Block the message, but allow the sender to override with a business justification. So you can block the message and then do all the other extra actions as well, informing the user as well. And suppose I say that I will notify the user, but allow them to send. Right? The message for the NDR that users will receive. Really? Wow. It's weird. Kidding me? What? Block the message. Oh, now they let me do that. Yes. Notify the sender, but allow them to send. Okay, notify the sender. Yeah. I'm just gonna notify the sender that the message was allowed to be sent. Right? If you're blocking, only then there's a reason. So block the message, but allow the sender to override the business justification. Okay. So first the message will be blocked, but then if the user gives a business justification, it will be allowed to send. Right? So please justify uh, justify why you are sending this message to um, to admin. So I'll click save and reject unless explicit override. So it's some policy. We already know that the policies do work. Just went for one more policy. Otherwise, you can get the idea. So it should be a policy tip appearing when anyone is sending messages to anyone. Oh wow, it's applied to all, right? So that's not fair. I mean, for future labs as well, I have to remove this rule then. So the sender, I'm just gonna go for one sender instead of this. And I have Alex. One policy is on Alex anyway. Oh, Alex has approval policy. So policy, I'll go for Justin now, and Justin doesn't have anything conflicting. So the policy could be conflicting as well, right? Medium severity. Next. Dash. Okay. If you want to notify the sender, you need to select the message contains sensitive content. Condition for this rule. Other details. Notify sender action requires message contains data classification predicate. So yeah, it says that you cannot really use this. Or if you want to use this, you need to select the message contains sensitive content. You have a reason to block. Notify a sender with a policy tip, and for policy tip was actually business agent center override and send. Actually, I did not do what they told me to do, but like the message, notify the recipient with a message, generate an incident report and send it to this, depend the message. So yeah, what they're saying, I didn't find that. Unless sign it override. But yeah, this is also not going to work. I think it's going to notify sender. So it just says that if you want to notify sender, you need to select the message contains sensitive content. Here's the message contains sensitive content. So anyway, we can do all the work here. You can see that. So, but you can also do it as a sensitive content was not there. Prepend the message, notify the sender with the policy tip, and the policy tip does not have that message contains sensitive content thing. So, or they want us to say that message. I think it was a positive message contains sensitive content. Is that what they want to say? Because they didn't give me any other option. Anyway, I'm not gonna spend too much time there. Okay, you need to select the message content, but I didn't find condition for this rule. last thing. Otherwise, I'll just go for some other condition. Where is the condition? Except do the following. Apply this rule. Name and set conditions for your. Okay. So I think there is another one I can add here. I'm gonna click the plus sign. And there's a plus sign here, right? So I can add message contains. So message contains. Where's the message contains? Message properties. Message security. The message. Protect the message to. Prevent the subject of the message with. Notify the sender with a policy tip. And support notify the recipient the message. Message. Oh man, wrong message. So where is the condition? So again, yeah. See, you have to. We have to do a lot of groundwork, but I'm just going a bit faster. If I was given that, a lot of time in the office, enter text or that one. No. So then I would just take some time and pull it. Right now, some messages are kind of complicated like this, but otherwise you get the idea because I want to go. I have already shown two rules working fine. Every rule has its own requirements, right? So go and search and check it out because if we keep doing that in 4 hours, we can really cover everything. So two transport rules should tell that what are transport rules really for, and also there's a move up here. So which rule you want implemented first, which rule you want implemented later. Also, you can duplicate and then make some slight changes there as well. Anyway, the main thing is that go ahead and you can test all the rules and take your time and go through many of the rules as well. But they are implemented within the Exchange organization, within your within the Exchange organization, and when the emails are traveling or in transit. Okay, then the next one is remote domains. This is something that I never had to do in my current and previous companies, but yes, in large companies, yes, it is implemented. So what is it? Remote domains. And a remote domain, you go there. Oh wow, they didn't put a label there, so I'm just gonna put that here. Exchange online remote domain. So it says here remote domains in Exchange Online, and remote domains is there are many reasons why you might want to control the types and the format of messages that your users send from Exchange Online to recipients in external domains. Oh, what is that? Recipients in external domains? And why would we care about uh, external domains? So you don't want to let your users forward messages to recipients in other domains. You don't want to let your users forward messages to recipients in other domains. To work within an organization, if you don't want to receive automatic messages from, for example, non-delivery reports and out of the office replies, you have a business partner that's outside your organization. And you'd like that partner to receive the same out of office replies as those received by people inside your organization. So your users frequently send email to a company that supports limited email formats, and you'd like to make sure all emails sent to that organization are sent in a format that they can be read. So what basically they are saying in English is, I'm going to go to the diagram and so remote domains is just uh, another partner domain. So suppose you have your um, exchange online working here in the cloud, and you have another partner domain either in the branch or in the cloud. with their own email system. So that's a partner organization, partner org. Uh, it could be also M365, Microsoft 365 services, and they also may have their own exchange online, or if it's local domain, like on premises, right? On premises, and there you have Exchange server installed there, right? In any case, you want any domain, so whatever messages are coming or being generated by the local users here, or if they are being forwarded to another domain, then you use the remote domain feature that, hey, John is receiving some emails. I want all those emails from John's mailbox automatically forwarded to this particular other remote domain. And domain is, all know that, it could be, suppose this domain is actually Bitcoin, US and Canada.com. So this is the remote domain here for which uh, you want John's email to be. So this is also a Bitcoin company, suppose, and it's forwarding to a sister company here, or it's a partner company, but they also they do the same business as your company does. You're forwarding this, you're pointing that, hey, this remote domain, all the messages should be going to. This could be one, or it is just that what kind of format the messages should be going to a particular domain's mailboxes. So there are many mailboxes here. So suppose there's Sandy at Bitcoin US and Canada.com, or Bob at Bitcoin US and Canada.com, right? So remote domain is just for letting some kind of properly formatted emails. Suppose you put a format there of the email, it does not accept links. So when you put HTTPS link, they are not clickable. So it could be anything like that. So the main thing is certain policies, whatever email you want forwarded to a particular domain. So you implement those policies and name that domain, that if our employee emails anyone in that particular domain, so these policies would apply. So that's overall the remote domain. So otherwise, if you don't put some policies or specifically not mention a remote domain, then yeah, we can email anyone anyway there, right? When you're specifying that this particular domain, if the email is going, then there are some rules that we want to follow. So then you go for remote domain. I'm saying that I never had to use that, and but some big companies might use it, and use cases are here as well. So I'm just gonna put the good read here thing for remote domains, and the use cases for the remote domain would be also here. Okay, many reasons. So you don't want to let users forward messages to recipient in other domains. So yeah, these are specific scenarios that you can implement on a particular domain. You can mention that domain in a remote domain. But let's try to implement it. And it says that email reply types, message reporting, text and character set, view. So no policy. So configuring remote domain, and what is the remote domain? It's asking right away. I suppose it's cloud engineers academy.com or CNN.com or BBC.com, whatever.com. Is that a site called whatever.com? Yes. So it says that The following options allow you to limit the type of client automatic replies or out of office uh, use out of office internal or external domains. Selecting none stops all out of office messages from being delivered to the remote domain. Out of office automatic reply types. So allow only external out of office replies. Allow internal out of office. These I think I showed you once. Internal external out of office replies. So suppose you this is Exchange Admin Center, right? You go to mailboxes and you go to some mailbox here, and then you go to others, and then manage automatic replies. And that is there's reply to all senders inside the organization. Internal or out of office replies you can do. So you can do this. I am out of office on this time till this time. So you want to send it to all internal. So somebody sends you an email, you get a reply here that hey, sorry, I'm out of office. Or you want to go for outside the organization as well. So these out of the office replies, this is outside the organization, right? So if I go back to the configuration, it says here the following options allow you to limit the type of client automatic replies to internal or external domains. Selecting none stops all out of office messages from being delivered to the remote domain. Which domain? So suppose Alex is on vacation and allow only internal, suppose you go for. So this means that anyone, Bob at Cloud Engineers Academy, when he sends email to Alex, he does not get an out of office reply from John or from to Alex from Alex. Bob does not get an automatic reply from Alex that he is out of office because we said that allow internal out of office replies only. This means um, somebody from inside the organization sends an email to Alex, so he or she will get the reply, "Oh, I'm out of office." If somebody from outside sends an email to Alex, there's no reply. Alex will not reply because Alex is out of office, right? The proper thing would have been that that person should have received, outsider should have received the out of office reply, so he should stop sending email and should stop expecting email. So suppose he does get the reply out of office, of the sender for Alex. Oh, then says Bob says, oh yeah, he's out of office. Okay, let me call his colleague and or let me email his colleague, Bob's colleague, uh, and business will go on. But if you stop any out of office replies while the person is out of office, obviously that makes no sense, and the business there's a possibility of business loss. Bob will just simply complain that hey, why is Alex not replying? Seriously, and people get frustrated. Then give me a reason why I'm not replying, right? So implementing that, just be careful. It affects your business as well. Allow automatic replies, allow automatic forwarding. To that remote domain that I selected here, how do you want to treat that or the users of that remote domain? So this is all mentioned here. Suppose you don't allow any automatic reply to that particular domain that I mentioned in the previous page, or you don't want any automatic forwarding to be done to that particular domain. Right? So you can configure all that. Next. And then non-delivery reports, set the following options to allow sending of message reports and meeting forward notifications to the remote domain. So how do you want to treat that remote domain that you mentioned in the first page? Do you want any delivery reports? Suppose Bob from that organization sent an email and it actually the email did not reach our organization, right? So there should be an NDR, non-delivery report, NDR, non-delivery report. If you uncheck that, now Bob will never know that his email was uh, actually received or not. So, how do you want to treat that remote domain? This is what it is all about. Sometimes you want to keep certain things secret in a highly secure organization. So that could be a use case. As I also said that I've never had to use it. It's there for a purpose, obviously. Non-delivery reports allow meeting forward notifications. So you want meeting forward notifications as well. Somebody forwarded a meeting invitation to someone in this domain, remote domain as well, and how you want to treat those guys in that particular remote domain. Follow users. So these are just format of email messages, MIME character set and non-MIME. How the fonts should be, what should be the spaces between the fonts, how the email should look like when it's written. So again, how do you want to treat that remote domain, guys? So it's there. The use case could be we may never use it, or it's there. We should know that it's there, and in case we ever have to use it, so yeah, we can put that particular domain there, and we can choose how to treat those guys there. Should we tell them this? Should we let them know this? Not. If so, remote domain not very much used, and so there's a default policy here as well. And star means obviously all domains. Allow email, allow office messages to all domains. Allow automatic replies to all domains. Automatic forwarding to all domains. So everything is enabled by default until unless you want to actually mention some kind of domain. So all domains rules are okay except for this dude here. So accepted domains. What is accepted domains? This is the domain that is representing your organization. So all our users, all my users have this domain. This means this domain represents my organization. It is uh, it is accepted by my organization to represent our users. Our users name or UPN user principal name or the email address ends with this domain. So we have accepted this domain to be our representative. You can say it in another word. It is authoritative. It is authoritative, or it has. We have authorized this domain to receive all company communications uh, to the users who have this domain with them, right? So authoritative just means that email is delivered to email addresses that are listed for recipients. Microsoft 365 or Office 365 for this domain. Emails for unknown recipients are rejected. So authoritative just means that yes, this domain is authorized to receive all our company communication, no one else. So we accept this domain to represent our company in terms of sending and receiving emails address. All emails will be received and sent through this domain. Our user has this domain, they can send email on our behalf. They can receive emails on our behalf, company's behalf. Right, so it's pretty straightforward. And how do you add an accepted domain? Obviously, at the start of the course, remember that we added a GoDaddy domain. So when we add a GoDaddy domain here in Azure Active Directory, it automatically gets added to this section of accepted domains. Um, an internal relay recipients for this domain can be in Microsoft 365 Office or your own email servers. Email is delivered to known recipients in Office 365 or is relayed to your own email server if the recipients are known to Microsoft Alert. So what is internal relay? Internal relay is that relay means forwarding. Suppose you go for internal relay. So recipients for this domain can be in 365 or your own email servers. So own email servers is on premises. So this means that it is the accepted domain. If you put it to internal relay, accepted domain is to internal relay. So accepted domain receives the email and it relays that to another exchange server in your organization. So this Exchange server is also attached to your accepted domain, while the Exchange online services you have purchased, which are also attached to your accepted domain. If you put it to internal relay, so as soon as it receives, the domain receives an email, it simply relays it to the other Exchange server, which is also attached to your domain. And all the users there, the mailboxes are actually not here. The mailboxes are in here in Exchange server. All the mailboxes are here in Exchange server. So the thing is that internal relay is just forwarding of email to some other Exchange servers, but those Exchange servers are also attached for accepting domain from your accepted domain. Just an internal relay. The email gets received here in this mailbox, and it also gets relayed to suppose the same user's mailbox is open here as well, or hosted here as well. So relay is just forwarding, but again, yeah, I also never had to use this feature. It's just authoritative we use, and yeah. So this domain represents our users' mailboxes and emails. So if we go to connectors, connectors is if connectors help control the flow of email messages to and from your Office 365 organization. Flow of messages, our Exchange Online, and from our Exchange Online, right? We recommend that you can check to see if you should create a connector, since most organizations don't need to use them. So if you are able to, as soon as you open your E5 account and you go to your Outlook, and you're able to send email to anyone and everyone, right? So it's okay. Right? Like you don't need to really create a connector, but when do you need a connector? So if I go for check to see uh, that, do I need to create a connector in Exchange Online? Find your okay. A bit about history of connector is this. So when we used to have our on premises, suppose this is the Toronto branch, we used to have our on-prem exchange, right? On-prem exchange. This is old times. That was a pain in the on-prem exchange server for emails, right? So you used to create, uh, virtual machine or a physical server here, right? Whenever I create a server, I should always use for correctly imagining what machine am I talking about. So you, oh, so you would just install a server, and then you would simply install OS on top of that, right? This is pretty old time because then virtual machines came, right? And then install Exchange server on top of that. Exchange server 2013, 2016, 2019, 2022, right? And then what would you do once you install Exchange server? There would be databases here, and the email mailboxes would be created inside the databases there. But we had to create, external connector, our outbound connector and inbound connector. So we had to then create inbound connector and outbound connector. What is that? We used to we if we don't do that, then we can't receive emails from internet. We don't do that. Right? So inbound connector would help receive emails from internet to our organization and put it to Exchange server. Outbound connector would send email from our Exchange server to internet. So we had to, this was compulsory, otherwise emails would not leave organization and come to organization from to and from internet, right? So that was the history, and we have to create the connectors. But this was a pain in the neck as well. So obviously, your organization's routers need to have some policies changed, and there would be firewalls where you have to change the policies that receive all the SMTP email, SMTP simple mail, password, protocol, right? 25, right? Port 110. So there were other ports as well. So the thing is that this is no longer the case because we don't really need to create connectors now. When we have created an account in Exchange Online, we know that Exchange Online already has a inbound outbound flow. Exchange Online already online already has a inbound outbound email flow. So because there is already inbound outbound email flow, so we are so uh, but then they say that okay, this requirement is gone for the connector, but you can still create connector if there are some following scenarios here. So scenario number one is that you have a standalone EOP subscription. What is this? Exchange Online Protection, right? Why would you want to use that? What is it? So Exchange Online Protection, as the word says, protection here, right? So if I just click that, oh, if you have Exchange Online Protection only purchased to protect your own premises Exchange servers. Again, what does it mean? So suppose you have on-premise Exchange server, and many organizations still have because they have from last decade the Exchange servers. So they are slowly, majority of them are slowly going. Many of them have gone to Exchange Online already, and many of them are still having hybrid environment where they have on-premises Exchange server and online. They are both connected, and many are going to go for Exchange Online, right? So the thing is that if you have purchased EOP, so what is EOP? EOP is Exchange Online Protection. This means that just the email protection that we can purchase from Exchange, but we're not placing our mailboxes there. We're not configuring anything there in terms of Exchange other than whatever the protections. So Exchange Online Protection. And what is that Exchange Online Protection offering? Obviously, all the protection to emails, right? For example, anti-spam and the virus and the malware and so many features are there like compliance standards implementation. So many features are there, right? And email attachment filtering. Uh, so it checks all the attachments if any one of them is infected, right? And also protection from, which is the biggest threat right now. In fact, anyone knows what is the most biggest threat in email that we see nowadays? I'm about to write it, but we any one of you know already. What kind of attacks are most common and most dangerous? There you go. Phishing. Exactly. Vijay says phishing. Protection from phishing. This is the most annoying thing and easiest thing to do. So, what is phishing? That a user clicks a URL thinking thinking it is from a legitimate site. So as soon as the user clicks the URL, that's it. Uh, Hacker gets access to the organization, or a malware is loose, and mostly it's the backdoor that opens for the organization, and the user's mailbox, and then the PC is hijacked by the hacker, and the hacker comes in and starts running havoc on the site, on the company resources, and it actually multiplies. So the thing is, uh, this phishing protection, and the most common attack, name of the attack is ransomware. This is the biggest threat right now, and Canadian companies, US companies, European companies, all the companies around the world, they are having this ransomware attacks, where what happens here? All the company data is encrypted, encrypted, and by hackers, right? By hackers, and um, then a ransom is demanded via Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. So when the company pays off, the hacker gives the decryption key. Many times it works, sometimes it does not work, and hackers got hold of the money, as well as the company could not still access their data. So um, those attacks. So that's why many companies who still do not have the protection from in their on-premises exchange servers, or they're not really uh, satisfied with the protection that they have here, so they go for POP. So they can only purchase exchange online protection. What happens? How does it work? All the emails have to go through from the internet. All the emails have to go through EOB. All the security is implemented, and then the email actually arrives to the company exchange server. So all the protection emails go through, all the scanning from exchange online protection, defender, antivirus, it goes through, right? Then it joins, then it actually reaches the exchange server. uh, Brother says phishing example. Well, I just mentioned that a user clicks a URL thinking it is a legit site, right? So suppose I it's Alex, right? Suppose that's an email coming from outside, and Amir admin, and I've so again this is a test email, but actually you won a prize, um, and hurry and claim it. Okay, and there's a please click here, claim the prize, right? And then you have some URL here that says CIBC dot bank dot io, right? Bank dot io, and slash big prize. Now there's a URL there as well, right? And I'm sending it to my account, to now that URL will be actually, so there it is. Now I sent it, right? Oh, it needs to get approval from, really. I need to turn off those policies. Okay. Beaver needs to approve it first. Okay. And yeah, it should not have been approved because it could be phishing. So now Alex's email should be arriving here because it was approved. There you go. So you won a prize. I should not be. So CIBC Bank. Oh yeah, there's a CIBC Bank in Canada. Yeah, I know that. But IO? No. Prize? This is like suspicious. Okay. So I will go to CIBC site and check their URL, and you go to CIBC site here. It's cibc.com. No cibc.bank. Okay, this means this is suspicious already, right? And this is suspicious. So if I click this link, it could actually connect to a hacker's server, and from there the hackers can download the tools. So when we say connect, this means it has opened from inside a firewall port that has connected to an outside on the internet, a hacker server, and hacker can quickly download some malware. That malware automatically runs a script that checks all the contacts. So if I go for email, then it goes to all the contacts in the global address list. It just simply emails automatically from this user, all the users email. The malware just simply spreads like this, and then all users PCs are infected. They all start opening backdoor to the hacker server. So that's and all it all starts from clicking this link. Yeah, I clicked it. Oh man, so user awareness is so important in our company. What happens? We have InfoSec subscription, InfoSec Security Magazine is an institute. We have subscription from this in our company, and they create some very good videos on security, excellent videos on security. InfoSec Global maybe, and those videos users have to run those courses, see those courses, and those videos have phishing awareness that cannot click any link that is not um, trustable. So this looks surprising, suspicious. So that's why I would not never click this link. That's the thing about phishing. Hopefully, you understand that. So what we're talking about here is that EOP. If you have Exchange Online Protection (EOP), then yes, you need to create a connector between the Exchange Online and your particular branch Exchange server. In fact, it's going to be through router, and the public IP addresses will be given in the router for specific Exchange Online protection, and all the emails coming from this EOP with port 25 will be then included. So yes, then you need a connector here when you are going for Exchange Online protection. So emails, all company emails will hit EOP first, then they will be going through the security, all kind of security provided by EOP, and then they will be forwarded to your actual on-premises Exchange server in your branch. Okay, so Vijay says in the chat, also network security sends phishing email check to test your user knowledge on regular in our basis. Yes, exactly. So there is a campaign called, you can run a campaign, phishing campaign on your own users, you yourself as an administrator, uh, internal company phishing campaigns, right? So phishing campaigns, security awareness training. There you go. Titan HQ, I think. Well, we have from InfoSec, and they have very good videos there. But yeah, many companies have this. They are all, much a lot of companies offer that. Security awareness training. They also run phishing campaign. What happens is that you log in legitimately. Suppose this is InfoSec training. Okay, why don't I just go to InfoSec training and phishing campaign? So I mentioned InfoSec. Oh yeah, there you go. So the company has to just get. Oh yeah, this is it. Uh, they have to just get subscription for all the users and pay for all the licenses. And InfoSec has their training tools there, security awareness and training tools, phishing risk test. So is your organization really having such mechanisms in place to avert any kind of phishing incidents. So skill development and so basically, it's phishing test means that you will be running a select phishing template, add recipients. You're gonna see as an administrator or as a technical person, you might know which, if it's a small organization, then you obviously know that there are some users who are not very tech savvy, who are not very digital. They are accountants, and they even ask very basic questions about computers as well. But they're accountants or they are sales guys only. So you add those recipients and even IT department guys as well. And then you launch test and assess phishing risk. So what happens is, and I also teach in George Brown College. So no, not George Brown College did not run a this campaign. Humber College. Humber College ran that campaign, and I was caught. So they were saying there was a email that was sent deliberately from these guys, Humber admins who were running this phishing campaign. They sent an email. Okay, your paycheck has increased. I was like so happy. Wow. Hey, Humber has increased my paycheck. I went inside crazily, blindly, and clicked the first link I saw. Then the pop-up came. This was a phishing test, and you were supposed to be careful. And then here's a link for the phishing awareness course. And it is mandatory now for you to go through the whole course. So yes, you can run a phishing campaign with fake links and test your employees if there is a possibility of them clicking any of the links without thinking at all. So that was not my prime organization, Humber College. I do a job in downtown company, right? There I'm really, really careful. But I was supposed to be careful in Humber College as well, right? So anyway, the thing is that you can run fake phishing campaign, uh, like fake with fake links. They are not actual dangerous links, but they are links that you're not supposed to click. So those campaigns are run across all companies because of so many attacks that happen. So that's the first scenario, that you go for exchange online protection, and then you need to create a connector that sends all the emails, forward all the emails to your on-premises exchange servers. You need a connector for that. Some of your mailboxes are on your on-premises email servers, and some are in exchange online. This is a hybrid environment, and pretty much then you need a connector if you have suppose 10,000 employees and 5,000 mailboxes are here and 5,000 mailboxes are still on premises exchange. And this is the case with many companies that when they are hiring you, when you're giving some interview, suppose, then you are told that, okay, our environment is hybrid, which means that we have some presence in the cloud and we have our workload in our servers as well, on-premises server. So if you have a hybrid environment, then yes, you need connectors. Well, if you have total online only, then obviously you don't need connectors. And if all of your mailboxes are in Exchange Online, but you need to send email from sources in your own premises organization. So again, all your mailboxes are here, but you have few mailboxes, or you just need to send email from your on-premises application. Suppose there's an application here that need to send some reports regularly, and those are very critical reports that you need to always monitor, right? So in that case, you would need a connector that those reports from the on-premises applications get sent to Exchange Online, where all your mailboxes actually exist. We have a printer in the network printer in our organization, and every organization has that. And that network printer is connected to Exchange Office 365. In that printer, when we scan some paper, so we put a paper there, and it has to be scanned, so it has to be placed somewhere, right? It is sent to the user's Office 365 email or OneDrive or a SharePoint. You can also set SharePoint shared folder there. So this means that there are no mailboxes on premises, but some kind of application or some kind of technical device is sending needs to send email. In that case, we need to create a connector. We didn't need to create a connector. It's just interconnected to internet, and then they are. So it could be some other specific email application from which it needs to send. Then it may need connector, but our printer for our printer, we didn't have to create a connector. You frequently exchange sensitive information with business partners, and you want to apply security restrictions. Okay, in that case, you can create a connector. Connector is like you can say a tunnel as well, but not exactly VPN tunnel. We can say so. Connector is just you know a thing that you can create kind of a secure saying tunnel, but don't say use that word there. It's an example only because then there's technically a VPN tunnel also available, right? The terminology. So, but it does create a tunnel from your organization to another organization that could be online, and you can put a lot of security there. So you can create connectors there. All the connector traffic would be encrypted. All the connections will be encrypted as well. It could be that, or it could be your on premises as well. So in that case, you can create connectors as well. So good read for the type. When do you really need connectors? Exchange, online, code, connect, and first. So change on. Uh, when do you change? In most cases, you don't. But yeah, and there are many big companies that have on-premises Exchange server, and it's working fine, and they don't want to get rid of it. So then definitely you need connectors to connect emails, right? So um, that put here in the chat, and these chat as well. Um, and if we go ahead, if we in check that. So if I go to connector now, add a connector. If I go there, so it says that hey, specify your mail flow scenario, and we'll let you know if you need to have a connector or not. So connection from your organization's email server, I don't have it, but if that was the case, I would select this partner organization that wants to send email to me from Office 365. Suppose I go for Office 365 here. So connection to what? So from your Office 365, which is online, to your organization's email server, which is on premises, or your partner organization. So suppose I say that a partner organization from our Office 365. So center enforces routing and security restrictions for email messages sent from Office 365 to your partner organization or service provider, even service provider. But it's more towards just over the internet. You can still send email, right? Creating a connector, maybe you want to create kind of a tunnel which is very very secure and less chances of being hacked hackers if it's kind of really important email that are being exchanged between the two partners, right? So test and then test, and what do you want to do after connection is connector itself. I'm gonna fully create that obviously. So use of connector, specify when you want to use this connector. Only when I have transport rule set up that redirects messages to this connector. So we were talking about transport rule. We create some transport rule. You may have to connect that, but only when email messages are sent to these domains. So you have some kind of domain there. Suppose it's cloudacademy.com, and you the plus sign here, and then use the MX record associated with the partner's domain. MX record is mail exchange record. MX record. The exchange record's main responsibility is to send or forward emails to the proper exchange server, or route email through these smart hosts. So if I go to smart hosts are those public IPs or domains that simply receive your email and send it to the actual destination. So it could be the DNS of your uh, ISP as well. My ISP is right now Rogers. I used to be with Bell. But whichever ISP you have, you can ask them, hey, what kind of smart host I can put there, so they will give you the public IP of their DNS servers. From there, they can forward it to your destination. So Raza says in the chat, SMTP port can be used as connector. SMTP port is just telling the type of traffic. SMTP or port 25. This is port 25, right? Port 25 just tells that it's email traffic. So no, connector is a separate thing. What we are creating now is a connector, and one of the things. So when we talk about MX, so it understands it's an email traffic. So port 25 is just telling what type of traffic it is. But connector is something else. It's something that you have to create and configure. And you can see the whole wizard. This is just creating one connector. And that connector is connecting two exchange servers, one exchange online to another exchange online, or one online exchange or exchange online to an on-premises exchange. So connector is connecting two different parties together for, in that case, email. If it was VPN, so we can also call this. It's no one calls VPN as a connector, but it does play a part as a connector, right? If we are connecting through VPN with a private IP, we're connecting from one organization to another, right? Or one party to another party. So that can be referred to as a connector as well, right? But we call it VPN. Actually, we do call it VPN connection connector. So connector connects two parties. When you're connecting them, yes, you can ask what is the type of traffic. If you say port 25, they will know that it's email traffic. Okay, there's just information about what type of traffic it is. O and K. And okay, so we don't. It's a dead end. We have nothing here. So how should obviously connect to your partner organizations? Always use TLS, transport layer security, secure the connection. TLS is always there for moving traffic, traveling traffic. Right? And do you have any digital certificate? So you have to purchase a digital certificate, or you can use a self-signed certificate, which is just created by you. Next. And then validation email. Specify an email address for an active mailbox that's on your partner domain. We don't have a partner domain right now. We don't have a mailbox for that partner domain. But connector just simply connects to, in this case, two exchange servers or online exchanges, or one exchange online and one on-premises exchange. Okay, so we're going to continue in next class with this alerts and policies, rules, migration, mobile report, everything. So hopefully in next two classes we will configure it, or next class maybe we are able to finish this. So okay, see you this time next week, same place, same time, and bye and bye.
Bye. Thank you.